You are now running wild with the most underrated wrestling podcast in the world, WellsMania Podcast. I am your host, WellsMania, the Kyle Wells. Thank you guys so much for tuning in exclusively right here on YouTube. YouTube is the exclusive home of WellsMania Podcast because, as you all are aware, Spotify for creators threw me through the barbershop window. They kicked me in the balls. They pulled a John Cena heel turn on me, and I have not been able to get back on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. So for everybody who's been wondering, well, where the hell's WellsMania Podcast been? YouTube. So do me a favor, subscribe. It's free, absolutely free to subscribe to the WellsMania Podcast. Now, before I have by the way, this is a very rare Sunday episode of WellsMania Podcast. Normally, we record episodes on Wednesday, but I've got two special guests that I will be bringing on here momentarily, and that's why I'm giving you what you all want, more WellsMania Podcast content. So before I bring them on, I just wanted to shout out a couple people. I had my 20-year high school reunion last night. I know, it's hard to believe that your boy WellsMania has been out of high school for 20 years. That's right. I graduated in 2005 for all of you who can't do math, which I can't. So thank you for bearing with me. But I just wanted to shout out to the president of my class, Tyler Gillespie, for putting on a very fun night at Naylor's in Whiteland, Indiana. It's a brewery. Stephanie Ferris and her husband, Stevie Harmon, they own that bar in Whiteland, Indiana. So if you're looking for a place to go hang out and have a good time, Naylor's in Whiteland, Indiana hosted my 20-year high school reunion. It was really nice seeing everybody. And if you haven't gotten to go to like a 10-year, a 20-year, if you're older than me, maybe a 30, 40, 50-year, do it. No excuses. I'm sick and tired of people saying, well, I can't make it to the reunion. Yes, you can. You just don't want to go. So I know all of you, mainly my boys. My boys were all like, I can't go. I can't do this. I can't do that. So I represented like 30 of my friends last night who couldn't make it to the high school reunion because, well, that's just what WellsMania does. And also I wanted to shout out Brittany Ginder and her daughters. I said that I would because Addie and Carrie, and Martin Ginder, their dad, Brittany's husband, they all watch wrestling. So they really are entertained by WellsMania Podcast. So thank you, Brittany, Martin, Addie, and Carrie for watching WellsMania Podcast. Okay, enough about me rambling on. 3 minutes in, perfect timing. 3. Did I just say 3? Oh yeah, that's right. I did just say 3 because joining me, special guests, Pierce and Brandon from the Ope-Eh-3-Way Podcast. How you doing, brothers?
What's going on?
Hey there.
There it is. Brandon did it.
That's the line. That's the intro.
Gotta live the gimmick.
Hell yeah, brothers.
Absolutely. I mark out. Anytime I see Brandon post anything and he comes in with the, oh, hey there. I love it. I love your guys' accent. You both are from Wisconsin. Donnie, who unfortunately couldn't be on this episode, he's the Canadian out of the 3, correct?
He is a great Canadian.
So,
yep, Donnie repping you with some Tim Hortons in the cup here. That's for you, buddy.
And Pierce, you educated me and said that Donnie couldn't make it because he is celebrating Canadian Thanksgiving.
That is correct. He told us he's making a turkey today, among other things. So, Donnie, we miss you. We love you. You'll have to be on the next episode. We're on WellsMania.
Absolutely. And when I think of Thanksgiving, I don't think of it being in the month of October or before Halloween. So Canadian Thanksgiving, is it a lot like our Thanksgiving here in the United States? I mean, why do they have it? Do you guys even know? Like, why do they have it in October?
Personally, no idea. Couldn't tell you.
According to my research, it's still harvest-based, right? It's celebration and thanks to the earth for bounty and all that good stuff. Not as closely tied to like nationalistic stuff like pilgrims and Indians around a table, that kind of thing. More seasonal, I guess, on their part, more earth related. So,
okay. Well, I respect the hell out of it. And if you are a Canadian and you live in the United States, that means you're probably celebrating 2 Thanksgivings. So I'm very jealous because Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday of the year. So,
Hell
but
yeah.
I gotta know if do the Canadians pour syrup on their turkey? I gotta know. So when you guys see Donnie next, ask him.
This is a poignant question.
We'll make a point to put it in our episode on Wednesday.
Because I don't want to sound stereotypical, and you guys can back me up, but when you think of Canada, maple syrup always comes to my mind. I always think syrup.
It's a fair thing. I personally, I mean, number one I think of is Donnie and his fiance Marta, and then number 2 is Letterkenny. That's just me though.
Yeah.
Oh, for Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and a bit of poutine.
Yeah, there's a lot going on up north of the border because I've never been. I've seen it. I've seen it from when I was in Michigan. I visited a friend up there, and she's like, "Have you ever been to Canada?" And I'm like, "No, I don't have a passport, so I couldn't go." And she's like, "Oh, look over there." And I was looking across the way, and she goes, "That's Canada." And I'm like, "Really? Canada's right there?" And she's like, "Yeah." I go, "Well, I guess that's the closest to Canada that I'll ever be."
It's a lot closer than you think.
Yeah.
I mean, for me and Brandon, I think it's maybe a 8-10 hour drive from where we are, which is not that
They're about, yeah. No, it's not going to break your back or nothing like that. I mean, not yet anyways. Like I can still do a long drive, and I'll do it for Donnie. I'll do a lot of things for Donnie. But 8-hour drive, that ain't nothing. I was up in the UP a couple of years ago, up near the border there, by the ferry station to get to Mackinac Island. Had a little pasty there, local delicacy. And same thing, I'm like, the border's like 30 minutes away, and there's signs like with a little leaf, and pointing you in which direction. I'm like, I mean, I could go, but I don't know if this is a podcast to talk about personal complications with Canadian border crossings, but your boy,
he could talk
into
about
Wisconsin tradition.
Anything and everything on WellsMania, Brandon.
Let's just say he's a true Wisconsinite.
Carrying tradition. But I might be able to put a good word into old Mr. Carney up there to maybe sneak me in there and attend a little wedding festivity. So fingers are crossed, right? But again, I do anything for Donnie, even if it means coughing up a couple Canadian hundo or what have you to give me a little pathway into the old Great White North.
Yeah, because you don't want the Mountie getting you.
No.
He always gets his man.
He always gets his man. That's what we
my
do.
Time, but I know that.
We love making as many wrestling references as possible in real life situations. I do it every day. So I'm glad that Brandon and Pierce, you guys get my Mountie reference.
Sure.
All wrestling up here. There's a video with our buddy Trey Two Fly. Shout out to Trey, where he was doing some wrestling trivia with us at WrestleMania 41 at WrestleCon, and I was breaking out years for some stuff, and he's like, "Well, I got some good shit for you guys then." So
I love that.
Yeah, this guy's the professor up here. You want anything trivia related answered about wrestling? You're seeing me pointing to my upper right. For those of you, I gotta preface that too. The audio folks, that's your guy, Professor Pierce.
And I'm sure you guys heard my intro there. Unfortunately, I got thrown through the barbershop window when it comes to Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I used to be running wild on both platforms, but I got flagged with some copyright protected music. And then instead of removing the episodes that had it, they totally wiped my whole podcast.
What?
Yeah. And then I went to appeal it, telling them, listen, I understand that I violated your copyright music, but just to let you guys know, I don't make any money off of the WellsMania podcast episodes. And if you could just remove the ones that I quote unquote violated, that would be great. And then, get my pod back up there. I've got a lot of listeners. I had over like 2,000 people who listened on Spotify, and it was really going, man. The pod was taking off. It was booming, and then all of a sudden I got hit with that, and people still listen, but a lot of people don't realize that I am on YouTube powered by StreamYard. So hopefully we can get back to where we once were. But yeah, fellas, just a little tip. Be careful. And you guys really don't use music on your podcast. You just kind of come straight in from the jump like I do. But I just was, man.
We really did for a bit. We had a little intro song, and then we just decided to take it off when we moved some stuff, because we're on Spotify and YouTube now. And when we moved over to YouTube for doing both episodes so people could see us in both places, we took the music off because it made the uploads a lot longer. So we just go straight in. The only real music thing we have in there is that I got my On This Day segment, and we just play the, On This Day.
I see clearly. Did you guys hear the Perth, Australia crowd singing that conference?
Perth was on one in that they were chanting for Edge, they chanted for MJF, they chanted for Moxley. They said F a certain country where WrestleMania is going to be at.
I mean,
I don't
warranted.
know where I don't know what I can't say, but I mean, they were just. Perth's crowd is always great. Australians, shout out to you guys.
Yeah, WWE stands for We Want Edge. Let that be known. Let that be known.
I thought it standing for Walk with Elias.
Walk with Elias.
Well, I mean, they let that copyright expire, so we got a new one.
I thought it stood for WellsMania Wrestling Entertainment. That's what I thought it stood for.
I mean,
sure.
Yeah. But we will dive in. I will get Pierce and Brandon's thoughts on WWE Crown Jewel, which we are fresh off of. I hope everybody got plenty of sleep after that early morning start time. A lot of us watched it early yesterday.
I went out Friday with a buddy of mine for some karaoke, and usually my body still wakes me up at like 7 o'clock. I didn't get up till 9 on Saturday, so I caught the last 3 matches and then watched the first 2 this morning.
I got to ask you, you bring up karaoke. What is your karaoke song? What's the go-to Pierce karaoke song?
It's a wrestling theme from the early 2000s.
All right. I like where you're going.
Because we got to keep rolling.
Oh, there it is.
That's your jam, hey?
Oh, yeah, Limp Bizkit. I crushed that song. My other go-tos, I would say, are 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton, just because it's always a fun song to do.
Solid.
It's a crowd.
Solid.
My friends will usually just throw in a random song for me. So, like, in the past couple weeks, I've done Pink Pony Club. I did Bow de Wa yet on Friday, which I thought I did terrible at. But I hiked up
with the
bar.
Bang, bang, diggy.
Little Kid Rock there. Little WWE Hall of Famer Kid Rock.
WWE Hall of Famer. That is accurate. I mean, it's just, I usually go with Rolling because it hypes up the crowd. And it's a fun song to
partner. Do. Keep on rolling, baby. You know what time it is.
Also, speaking of WWE Hall of Fame, when is Limp Bizkit or even just Fred Durst going in?
That's a great question, man, because they are definitely deserving of the celebrity wing in the WWE Hall of Fame. My Way, the WrestleMania package with Austin and Rock. I mean,
My Way, Crack Addict for
quintessential
for Austin Rock. I mean, there's a ton of great music that they brought into WWE. And for the longest time when they were brought in, and I mean, of course, Rolling for The Undertaker, which I personally think is American Badass's best theme. You guys can have your own opinions on that.
No, it's solid.
They had him at WrestleMania 19 to do that song. And then every time that they brought him out, they made a point. WWE's favorite band.
Yeah.
If they're your favorite band, give them the recognition.
Well, and Fred's in the video game too, for Christ's sake. You got which one was it? Here Comes the Pain, or was it Shut Your Mouth?
I think he's in Shut Your Mouth or SmackDown 2.
It's
one of the older games, but it wasn't Here Comes the Pain because I play that game religiously.
One of the all-time greats right there. Here Comes the Pain. Yeah, when I think of WWE in the Hall of Fame, there's another artist that I always plug and promote, and that is Cyndi Lauper. The fact that Cyndi Lauper is not in the WWE Hall of Fame is one of the biggest unsolved wrestling mysteries of all time. Like, what the hell, fellas? Why is she not in there?
So, from what I've read, a few times she's been asked and she's declined. So, if it's something she doesn't want to do, I can totally understand. But she should be in for her contribution to the wrestling business, because the rock and wrestling boom would not have happened without Cyndi Lauper.
Absolutely, yeah. Her work with Albano.
I had to assume that it's personal reasons and why she doesn't want to be in there, but she's got to take her rightful place. I mean, Cyndi Lauper is one of the reasons why, like you said, Pierce, wrestling took off in the 80s. I mean, pairing Cyndi Lauper up with Hulk Hogan, brother, and we get WrestleMania. I mean, the rest is history. Who knows if we never would have gotten WWF in the mainstream with the celebrities? Who knows? Who knows what would have happened back then? It might still be territorial for all we know. But
right.
It's kind of crazy when you think of celebrities and other wrestlers that aren't in the WWE Hall of Fame that should be in the WWE Hall of Fame. Yeah, Limp Bizkit and Cyndi Lauper definitely deserve to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. Now,
if I can throw out one other name that has to do with music,
absolutely.
Jim Johnston. Come on.
Yep. Yeah. One of the all-time.
That's got to be coming. Holders. I think, and especially now more than ever, I think people are starting to really pay attention to how contributional, for lack of a better term, wrestling or wrestlers. Right. Sorry. We're going to rewind that. Blah, 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 blah. I think people are really now more than ever starting to realize how much wrestling music contributes to the wrestlers. We'll say that. Sorry, I had karaoke last night too, Pierce. It was a long night, so getting a little tongue-tied.
Well, now I got to ask you, Brandon, what is your go-to karaoke song?
Oh, man. There's this one, what's it, Clint Eastwood by the Gorillaz. I hit both. I hit the singing. I do the rapping. I do all the things. Crowd pleaser.
That's a fun one right there.
Quintessential 2000s jam, man, for sure.
I would love to just hang out with you guys doing karaoke one night. We have got to make this happen somewhere down the road.
Yes.
Because
shout out something you're always at.
Yeah.
Squared Circle Expo 6.
Hell yeah, brother.
It's before Mania week this year. I think I'm probably gonna go. So if you want to take a 6-hour car ride, let's do it.
I mean, I'm down. Let's make it happen, Captain.
You guys should. Now, I'm glad you brought up Squared Circle Expo, because I'm just going to run through some of the guest announcements that have already been made. And you tell me, guys, if
you want us to do some what's to these?
Yeah. You give me some what's.
All right.
So as of right now, for Squared Circle Expo 6 that takes place here in my home city of Indianapolis, these are the guest announcements that have been made. We've got Matt Cardona.
What? Check out our interview with him.
Yes, great interview, by the way, with Matt Cardona. Brian Myers.
What?
Swoggle.
What?
Ortiz.
What?
Eddie Kingston.
What?
Oof.
Dennis Rodman.
Ooh, okay. All right. I'm down with that.
Right there. And let's keep it in the NWO. Well, Big Show, the Giant, Big Show.
He's so big. This big.
7 foot tall, 500 pounds.
And let's keep it in the NWO, fellas. Kevin Nash, big sexy, Big D. Carlito, Jimmy Wang Yang, Heath Slater, Isla Dawn, and Saraya, aka Paige.
Ooh,
great lineup so far.
We are just getting started, fellas, and I can't put over Squared Circle Expo enough. I've been to every single one of them. And I have actually been integrated into being a personality within Squared Circle Expo. They use me for, the media, getting interviews and coming on WellsMania Podcast and promoting their convention. But this year, we are still in 2025. Last expo earlier this year, I got to host a costume contest. And Ed Gonzalez has reached out to me and he's asked me, WellsMania, will you host the 2026 Squared Circle Expo cosplay costume contest? And I'm like, absolutely. So,
of course,
it's going to be a lot of fun. And there were a lot of great entries earlier this year. And I'm really excited to see who all cosplays for next year in 2026. And yes, you two make the drive over here to Indiana from Wisconsin, and we will collab. We will make all sorts of content. We'll do karaoke. It'll be a great time.
I did it already once this year when I went to the Rumble with my former roommate. And that was before we knew each other. But
yeah.
I mean, it's an easy drive, and Indianapolis, very, very underrated city.
Very right there. You see it on my shirt. Underrated. Because we are the most underrated wrestling podcast in the world, WellsMania Podcast. But I'm glad you brought up the Rumble. Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't really know you guys well back early in February, and then we started really, interacting with one another on social media. And unfortunately, we missed out on meeting each other out in Las Vegas.
It was very close. We were trying to figure it out for the Sunday, but I had to get back to our hotel to meet Donnie, Marta, and Brandon for lunch before we walked over to the stadium. So
it was wild. It was wild out there in Vegas.
Was that the same lunch? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you.
Yes, it was.
That was the same with the endless mimosas and my trip to the trash can outside Allegiant Stadium.
Did you puke outside Allegiant Stadium too?
You know what? I went to this one buffet and I kind of indulged, as one will during a buffet. They had food from like all over the world, right? And it was labeled as such. You had your Asian, your Mediterranean, your American, yada yada. And I'm not saying I'm a glutton, but I'm something of a foodie, right? So, and I want to get my money's worth because I'm in Vegas and they want $30 for Johnny Rockets out there, which is insane to me. But, you get your money's worth, you get your mimosas. It turns out when you mix them up and you go out into the heat, it's not really, doesn't really settle right. So, I almost knocked over the lady at the turnstile trying to get him, like, just scan my ticket, beep, lets me through, dash. So I
was afraid that he was going to get immediately kicked out from that, just because you never know at pro sporting events.
I took a little look around. I'm like,
we're good, but I mean, I also indulged in that. I was indulging more on the mimosa side. I had like 4 or 5, slammed most of them, and then went and bought some more beers, and it was a good time.
Yeah, I threw up as well, but not because of alcohol. I didn't eat anything Sunday. My wife and I went to WWE World, and I believe we got our picture taken with Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I was so nervous that I wasn't hungry. So I just didn't eat anything. And my wife's like, well, you got to eat something when we leave here because we're about to go to Allegiant Stadium for Mania. So I looked in our hotel and I saw this like little bag of Chex Mix, cheddar Chex Mix that we bought at some convenience store there on the Strip. So I just downed that bag in the taxi on the way to Mandalay Bay, because on the side of the Strip that we were all staying on, you couldn't drive over the bridge to get into Allegiant Stadium because it was blocked off. So we got dropped off at Mandalay Bay, walked across the bridge, went into WrestleMania night 2, had a great time. But your boy, during John Cena's match, started feeling my head was feeling like a little crazy, and my stomach was like feeling a little nauseous. And I'm like, well, I got to fight through this because I can't leave. About to witness John win number 17. And I fought through it, powered through it. my wife and I get out of night 2 of WrestleMania. And as you guys are well aware of the hordes of people flooding out of Allegiant Stadium, going across that bridge to get back on the side of the strip where everything's at, all of a sudden I look at my wife and I'm like, I'm going to puke. I said it loud enough where the people in front of me, they tried getting like away from me, but they couldn't. And I'm like, I'm like, dude, keep it together. John Cena just won the title. Everything's great. I powered myself on that walk over the bridge, got to the other side, got some clearance, and just threw up.
Let her rip.
That whole bag of Chex Mix came all the way back up. And so, yeah, I know. I feel your pain with the getting sick and the heat too, man. It was a little humid out there in Vegas, so that didn't help. It was a recipe for disaster. So my tip for all of you out there, when you go to these shows, find a Prime, stay hydrated, and make sure you eat something so that way you don't feel like I did leaving WrestleMania night 2. Because you're going to be, if you're going out there next year, listen to Pierce, Brandon, and I. We were just out there earlier this year, so we know what it's like being out there in Las Vegas for WrestleMania. So are you guys planning on going back? Are you running it back?
I believe I am. Just because I mean, I usually do one big vacation a year, and it's always, and lately I've just been coinciding it with WrestleMania, which
you're a smart man.
We'll segue into WrestleMania 40, where the Ope-Eh-3-Way was born, basically.
I love a good origin story, and I'm glad you are segueing into that, because how did the Ope-Eh-3-Way podcast come together? How did two Wisconsin, what do you call yourselves?
Wisconsinites.
How did two Wisconsinites link up with the Canadian to form Ope-Eh-3-Way Podcast?
I'll give you
Pierce, you take Saturday.
You want some inside baseball, you can call us Scotties.
That too.
Saturday. So Saturday I was at WWE World. I saw Donnie and Marta. Didn't know them at this point. Austin Theory and Grayson Waller were on stage doing the Fanatics signing stuff and shit talking both of us. There was a tailgate that we went to that was hosted by some Maryland company, and I may or may not have snuck into the VIP side. Apologies for that,
my man.
The way it was showed, it sounded like I was getting free booze for just buying the ticket, but you need the VIP ticket to get the free booze.
That's the catch.
You know, $20 Stella Artois was a little too much for me when I'm used to paying like $4. And
yeah, big difference.
And so I snuck in. They stopped checking everything, snuck in, started talking with Donnie. We were just, we exchanged Instagram, started talking. And then the next day, Sunday, well, I won a contest. They had a contest with Mojo Rawley, was one of the hosts of this. And they were like, he won the Andre at WrestleMania 33. How many fans were there in attendance? The other two guys guessed like 80,000. I knew it was not nearly that much. I knew it was closer to 60,000. I guess like 63,000. I think it was 64.5. And I won a big karaoke set. Good callback. And I asked the promoter, I was like, I can't take this on a plane with me. Like, it's just not going to happen. I can't put this in a bag. I have one bag. When I travel, I bring a duffel bag for my clothes. That's it. I don't bring much else.
White Packer. I like your style.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need too much. You need your essentials and you need clothes. You're good to go. And he's like, well, where are you from? I go, Wisconsin. He's like, oh, shit. And I was like, I'll take free VIP tomorrow. And they did meet and greets with the VIP guests. So I got to meet Kurt Angle on Sunday.
Nice.
And me and Donnie and Marta were going. So we swapped Instagrams, and I told him, hey, I'm going to be here at this time. And we met up when we were eating at the table. Brandon's sitting next to me. We don't know anything. And he goes, oh, Wisconsin. And I'm like, Wisconsin? I'm from Wisconsin. And we found out we live pretty damn close to each other. And I'll let Brandon handle it from here.
I was going to say, yeah, you're kind of cutting into my gimmick here, Pierce. I was going to be Mr. Sunday. But anyway, any hoodle. So my story, I come in, right. So Pierce and Don had already known each other from the get, right? So Sunday happens. I'm parked in the PBR there, right? Like a block down from Lincoln Financial. And I was watching Stand and Deliver because, I didn't have the funds for that. Well, I think that was actually Saturday. Or was it Sunday that year? Was it same day? Saturday. So I watched that Saturday. So yeah, you can kind of see my brain was a little scrambled from the festivities in Philly. But I go there Sunday because I'm walking around like the PBR and that, and I'm kind of getting the feel for the vibe and everything. And right, I see this big stage, and then there's Mojo Rawley. Shout out Mojo, Dean Matati, unofficial celebrity wing member of the Ope-Eh-3-Way. He was in our original cover photo. Yeah, he's a hell of a guy. Great dude. But he's up there and he's shouting out, the fans calling us out, like great time, all that. And then he brings Kurt Angle to the stage, and I'm like walking by and I see him up there and I'm like, oh shit. And that's as close as I've been to like a big name wrestler like that. Like I got signed by MVP, an issue of Pro Wrestling Illustrated, probably like in 2010. And MVP was like pretty good mid-card, but like Kurt Angle is Kurt Angle, right? He's one of like my top. It's one of my top three, and he's definitely not three. So Kurt's up there, and he's saying he's doing meet and greet and all of that. And I'm spinning in circles because I'm trying to budget this trip, right? Like I try not to be a heavy spender on vacation because then it bites me in the ass when I get back. But it's $150, and I'm like, okay, it's $150, and how many chances in life am I going to get to like meet Kurt Angle in Pennsylvania, his home state, during WrestleMania weekend? Like, so I'm just like, fuck it, I bit the bullet. They give you the all you can eat, the all you can drink. Got to shake Kurt Angle's hand, get a picture with him, which was incredible. Got a little starstruck by it. And then I'm walking around. I meet a whole bunch of cool people from all over the place, right? Like people from Ohio, people from like Colombia. And then I'm sitting down, and then here's this guy, Pierce. He's got his back turned to me, whatever. He's talking to this nice couple from, Toronto, I assumed, right? With the Blue Jays hat and everything like that. And we're talking, and then I think something came up about us tossing back a few brewskis, and like how it's like, I think we might have been commenting on beer prices, and like, yeah, I ain't paying no fucking $12 for a bottle of Miller Lite. You know what I mean? Yeah, I used to get them for $3.50 back home. And then I think it came up like that we were both from Wisconsin, and then I'm like, oh, what part of Wisconsin are you from? Because how often do you run into somebody, from your home state out east there, right? So he's from a town like maybe 20 minutes north of where I grew up in Colgate. So I'm just like, wow. Again, just narrowing the field of probability that much more. And met with Donnie and Marta, and got to know them. And we're all just like, taking down Yinglings. It was a great time. Got a lot of photos, got our cover photo. And then we were staying in touch. Some months later, I was just out on the town or whatever. I think it was a Friday night after a bit of a, fish fry, which is custom here in Wisconsin as well. Had a couple old fashions with that.
Always good.
Always good. Lots of great places I can recommend for that. But, imbibing a little bit, I'm just like, what we should do, fellas? We should start a podcast.
Yeah.
And then it just sort of happens like that. And then it turns out, Don's pretty handy with the tech. We give a lot of credit to Don. A lot of our podcasts wouldn't be possible. Yeah. I'd say 90% of it wouldn't be possible without Donnie.
Donnie is like the unspoken leader of the Ope-Eh-3-Way. Not many people know what Donnie looks like or who Donnie is. They hear his voice. They know that may be about it. But Donnie does so much for the cast, and we appreciate the hell out of him.
And keep the mystery alive of Donnie because he's not here. So it's like, I don't know if Donnie's real or not, but I'll take
Donnie is an idea. He is an enigma. But he is the great Canadian moderator. He keeps us in check. He brings us all back closer to center.
Us or you, Brandon?
Well, I mean, come on now. Listen, I'll take credit for my own, but Pierce, sometimes we both just kind of get a little out there. Get a little out there sometimes. Sorry, I had 311 in my brain for a second there, but brings us closer to center, and we appreciate it, and we love us our Don for that. So
I love that because you need somebody to keep you on the tracks because I tend to do what Brandon does. I tend to go off the rails a little bit, but then usually Stone Pain Productions or the WWE Human Encyclopedia, Jared Giles, 2 regulars that I have on WellsMania Podcast all the time, they get me back on the tracks because I'm like you guys. I could start going off and then we could start talking about this and talking about that. And then it's like, oh, wait a minute. I got to reel it back and go where we originally were going. But that's the beauty. That's the beauty of what we do. We've got the platform to literally do whatever we want, say whatever we want, and have fun while doing it. So I love what y'all are doing on the Ope-Eh-3-Way Podcast. Now, I got to ask, how did you come up with the Ope-Eh-3-Way title for your podcast?
It's all Brandon.
Yeah, so we were trying to brainstorm and stuff, and I'm a big proponent. I'm a big rep, as you can kind of see, Lift Local, the Wisconsin Athletic Club. I'm a big proponent of like celebrating local culture. I could never leave Wisconsin, to be frank. Like there's a lot of great places that I've gone, but Wisconsin will always be home to me. There's a lot to love about this state, and being selfish in my own kind of way, right? And Pierce, you and I are, from the great Scotty state here. We're both cheeseheads.
About the same. There are some people who don't really know Wisconsin, but once you're here, you'll understand it's probably one of the most underrated states in the union. Yeah,
most underrated.
There it is.
So we got that in common there. Yeah. But no, I wanted to celebrate like our culture and like have that be represented in our brand. And obviously not leaving Don out because and I like the whole Can-Am connection thing, right? Like I like, especially with like all the stuff in the news now and like all the tensions with, geopolitics and all that other shit. And this is, it was more like fun jabs back and forth before when we were kind of starting out. But as things have been kind of escalating and going on and changing and morphing, I feel like it's just nice to kind of have that space where the 3 of us can all just get together and just talk shit to each other, talk shit with each other, talk about pro wrestling, talk about Pierce's fantasy team, just celebrate like who we are and where we're from. And so you get, Ope, which is like a Midwestern. I don't know if they got so much of that in Indiana. I don't know if that's a thing there.
We do say Ope here a lot.
All right. So, so yeah, so you got, Ope. Yeah, so you got Ope, which is pretty associated with the Midwest in general, but like, coming from Wisconsin, it's certainly a thing. And then, Donnie with his Canadian how's the Northwoods area? And then we kind of fused them together. So you got Ope-Eh, and then how do we make this kind of wrestling related? So three-way dance, triple threat or whatever we toss around, but it's got a nice rhyme to it. And it's got a nice little staccato, like Ope-Eh-3-Way. So it flows, it works. That's kind of how that came about. So
I love it. It's when two Canadians run wild, when 2 Wisconsinites run wild with a Canadian, you get the Ope-Eh-3-Way podcast. It does, man. It rolls right off the tongue. Now I've got to ask you both. You both are from Wisconsin. Personally, I've never been. However, I would like to go because y'all have the Fonzie statue there in Milwaukee. And I'm a big fan of Happy Days. And I actually met Henry Winkler a couple of years back. He signed an autograph for my grandma, my Mimi, who has since passed away. But I gifted her that for Christmas. And her eyes just lit up. She got the biggest smile. And she was like, I can't believe you met the Fonz. And he signed an autograph for me. And I was like, hey. And so, and then when she passed away, I actually just tweeted at the Fonz, Henry Winkler, and he tweeted back and said that he's very sorry to hear about my loss and that she was a babe. And I was like,
nice.
That's good dude there, Henry Winkler. So I'd like to go pose in front of the Henry Winkler statue there. And but here's my question about Wisconsin. My wife and I just got done watching Monster, the Ed Gein story.
Oh God.
And Ed Gein. Ed Gein is from Plainfield, Wisconsin.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to ask you guys, have you ever been to Plainfield, Wisconsin? And what's the vibe like about Ed Gein in your state of Wisconsin?
We are unfortunately a little infamous because we had two of the most prolific serial killers ever out of Wisconsin with Ed Gein and Jeffrey Dahmer.
Jeffrey, you're being a little closer to home.
I probably will not go. It's before my time. What happened to those people was very unfortunate, and we hope we give their families well wishes and hope that they're doing well. It very much is what it is. I don't know how to put it without sounding kind of bad. Like it happened, and it's unfortunate. That's the best way I could put it. Brandon, what are you thinking?
I mean, yeah, it's just a bit of black humor in the state. Like we got, our reputation for cheese curds and serial killers. Also, apparently there are more ghosts located in the state of Wisconsin per capita than in any other state in the union.
Really?
Which is interesting. Really? Allegedly. So yeah, and then there's a book I read as a kid too. So there's this one haunted house near where I went to high school, actually, the Mary Booth house in Germantown there. And just grisly stuff, man. I don't know what it is about the state of Wisconsin that attracts this kind of profile. It's not the most fun thing to be known for. You know what I mean? Like it's just. I guess some people are really into there, and we're in Halloween time, right? So spooky shit. Everyone's flocking here.
Podcasts are huge. Like,
I
don't think people understand how big these true crime podcasts really are.
Yeah, true crime is a big genre right now.
People are gonna love that we're actually talking about it right here on the WellsMania Podcast. This is the thing; like, you never know what you're gonna get on the WellsMania Podcast. But I had to ask because we just got done binging it, and I'm like, Plainfield, Wisconsin. Hey, I'm having Ope-Eh-3-Way on WellsMania.
Wisconsin boys.
And Pierce and Brandon are from Wisconsin. So I would be remiss if I didn't just get your guys' quick thoughts on. Hello, I'm Ed Gein. Have you guys watched the documentary?
I can't say that I have. I might check it out, but it's also like, it's something, I've heard about through school, and like it's something that you like, that about because you are from the state, and these documentaries may or may not do it justice. So it's like,
Shout out to Charlie Hunnam from Sons of Anarchy. He's the one that portrays Ed Gein. What an incredible actor. And so is Evan Peters, who did Jeffrey Dahmer, which I kind of forgot that Jeffrey Dahmer was from Wisconsin. So yeah.
So I think
Milwaukee.
He's from Ohio, but all of his crimes were in Milwaukee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
so we don't entirely claim him.
pretty wild though that you've got two of the most notoriously known serial killers of all time that have ran wild in Wisconsin.
But pretty rough.
We'll turn our attention to football, because you guys have one of the most iconic stadiums, one of the most iconic franchises of all time, and I'm talking about the Green Bay Packers. Now, I take it, I don't want to assume things, but are you both Green Bay Packers fans?
We are.
Oh, there goes Brandon.
Just donning the altar here as soon as I can figure out how to put a mask on my face for El Gran Pacarfano.
Is that your alter ego there?
As soon as I can figure out the mask.
There you go. He's got it.
Yes.
He's living a gimmick.
I love that.
CC.
What'd you say your name was?
El Grande Pacarfano. I was trying to think of how much I'd get away with without copyright infringements, but
I think we're okay.
El Grande. Yeah. But yeah, you could say I'm a fan.
We were talking about it before the podcast. We've been pretty blessed with quarterbacks for the past 30 years, so it's been fun to watch this. Yeah, I wish there were a few more Super Bowls in there, but In my lifetime, I've seen at least one. And the year I was born, we won one too. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, but I still remember 31. I was 6 years old. My dad had a good bit of money in the pool for when they played the Pats, and I think he got a little bit on his return. But me and my sister were there. He made us like big fucking paper hats and stuff to go along with the festivities. That was a great one. That was pre-Brady. Yeah, when before the Pats started running wild on the NFL for the next 10 years or so. Yeah, 10, 20 years. Yeah.
Super Bowls in 20 years is just absolute lunacy.
Yeah. And me, you would think that I'm a Colts fan living in Indianapolis. I am not. I'm actually a diehard Tennessee Titans fan. And let me talk to you. It's been hard, fellas. You talk about death road, hard times, baby. It is hard times being a Titans fan living in Indiana because for a while there, Peyton Manning ran wild and just absolutely owned the Tennessee Titans. And then Peyton leaves.
Respectfully dog walked the Titans.
Yes. That's putting it lightly. But we had a couple glory years there with Steve McNair and Eddie George. But it's been very miss lately. And this year, not looking good, but I do want to respect the Packers because I was born in 1986, so I got to grow up and witness the whole 90s decade. Brett Favre. You talk about a football player, you got Brett Favre. Oh, tough acting to acting. That's my John Madden impression right there.
That's the guy.
Brett Favre was so much fun to watch. And I respect the hell out of Brett Favre. And then, like you said, you've been very blessed with quarterbacks. I mean, you had Bart Starr way back in the day. And then you get Brett Favre, and then you get Aaron Rodgers, who's arguably one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. And now, I believe, Pierce, you said it best. What do you get when you mix Brett Favre with Aaron Rodgers? You get Jordan Love. And so I think you guys are doing pretty well there in Green Bay, Wisconsin with your cheesehead team.
Oh yeah, we're a couple cheeseheads up here. You know, we got a lot of decent sports teams up here right now. Brewers are running pretty well right now. Made it to the championship series. Fear the beer, and then of course you always got to fear the deer. The Bucks, we got Giannis Antetokounmpo, Miles Turner.
Came from the Pacers. So good luck with old Miles Turner there in Milwaukee.
Hey, and you guys got a good Wisconsinite leading the Pacers and Tyrese Halliburton. So
Tyrese, big WWE fan.
Oh yeah, see him on the McAfee show all the time. Every time WWE rolls into town for you guys, he's there. I mean, again, like I said, Indianapolis, underrated city. I had a lot of fun when I was out there. I stayed at the WrestleCon Hotel. I got to meet a couple of wrestlers. I met Matt Cardona for the first time. Who else did I meet? I met Kurt Angle. No, I met Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 40. I saw Kurt Angle, Mark Henry, Danhausen. I met a couple of wrestlers.
Matt Riddle?
Content creators. Yeah, I met Matt Riddle before he went nuts. Which,
he's kind of got off the deep end a little bit here lately.
All respect to Matt Riddle. He was very cool with me, and he seemed like a very good dude. So
I met Matt Riddle at Kilroy's in downtown Indianapolis, and what you see on TV is what you get in real life. He's a very laid back, chill, high energy. High is not the word. Very low energy, but you get where I'm going with high.
Right.
And just chill. He's just a chill dude.
You give him respect, he'll give it right back to you. That's what I picked up from him. And I mean, he was nothing but cool. I brought my roommate. Shout out to Travis. He came out a couple years ago. He went for Halloween as John Cena from the 08 Rumble. I was like, dude, you have to bring this to the Rumble.
It's a great Halloween costume right there.
And he looks like John Cena, just a lot taller. And I told him, you bring this to the 08 Rumble and walk around WrestleCon with it, people are going to want to take pictures with you. And that's exactly what happened. And everybody was like, this is awesome. Our buddy Machoverse, the guy who does the Macho Man, he made a point to like do a little skit with him, and it was just a good time. And like I said, if I can make the time, I will be at Squared Circle Expo for sure. Because we just started doing some more interviews, and I'm trying to branch out and do some more interviews. This is our first time branching out and being on another show, so Wells, we really appreciate you bringing us on. So,
oh yeah,
I mean, we're
big
trying
time.
to do more, and
I am glad that you guys are here because I have been trying to get more wrestling content creators. I'll wait for the unmasking there.
Sorry, I figured we were done talking about sports.
Look at that hair, brother. You know, I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I got nothing up top underneath this WellsMania podcast hat. It all fell on my chin. So,
yeah, I'm probably going that route here soon too, but I'm not too far behind you.
You two look like you could take over the Beards podcast, damn near.
Yeah, between two beards. Shout out to JPJ and Pluggo. They've had me on their pod quite a bit, and I actually need to get both of them. I had Pluggo on WellsMania podcast going into WrestlePalooza.
We just had Pluggo on 2 weeks ago.
He's great, man. Pluggo's awesome.
He's a good time.
Love that dude. Very, very. He fits right in. I feel like with both of our podcasts. So.
100%. We had JPJ was actually the first guest we ever had on our show.
Oh, nice.
That was a fun time.
And he's got quite an accent too, being from Boston.
You don't hear it, but then when he starts to get a little angry and into stuff, it pokes.
It's always when you get spirited that it just really thickens. Oh yeah, love it.
I don't know if I have an accent.
It's Midwestern. I can tell it's Midwestern.
Yeah. Some words that I say definitely sound like there's a little accent to it, but I can definitely hear it, especially with Brandon. I can definitely hear the Wisconsin accent. Very strong. But I love it, man. I love it. This is what I love about what we do. Pro wrestling unites us all. Doesn't matter 100%. Where we are at in the world. We all have one common bond, and that is pro wrestling. So I'm really glad to have you guys. And I'm honored that you don't do a lot of other podcasts. So I'm honored that you took the time to come run wild on mine.
Well, I'll say here, me and Brandon are willing to come on if we could fit it into our schedules. It's very much we're still a smaller podcast. I like to call ourselves your favorite podcast because our fans are the people who watch us, listen to us. There may not be a lot of them, but a lot of them are wrestling content creators, which I think is pretty cool. And we've got a lot of cool people doing this. We have our buddy NXT, Najee, you, the Beards. Like we're trying to do some more branch out. That's why we're doing interviews. We went to an event last Sunday at Lakefront Brewery in Milwaukee. I don't think Lakefront distributes outside of Wisconsin, but if you ever come, definitely check it out. It's a great brewery, great beers. It was hosted by Warrior Wrestling, and we interviewed.
Shout out Steve Tortorello, by the way. I just want to make sure we get that out there. Guy in charge of Warrior Wrestling, Pro Wrestling Ventures, put on a fucking incredible show. Do we clarify? Can I cuss?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Excellent. Fuck yeah.
I put a disclaimer on all these episodes, 18 plus, because you guys know how it is with YouTube and Spotify. If you don't put that explicit, 18 plus on there, you get into some big trouble. So I'm just like, you know what? I don't cuss a lot, but sometimes I'll let a fuck fly and
it's a little conversation. It's a little seasoned conversation.
Conversation enhancers.
I never ever want to censor anybody. I'm an American, goddammit. I don't want to be censored. And I don't want you to be censored. I want you to be as real and as authentic as you want to be. And I don't want you to be like, man, I can't say this or I can't say that. You can say whatever the fuck you want because that's how WellsMania rolls, baby.
So,
love it.
Yeah, I mean,
sorry.
That's exactly where we are. Like I said, we're starting to kind of go like at WrestleMania 41. I did our first interview, which was with Simon Miller. Shout out to Simon. Simon's a very nice person. If you ever met him in person, he's such a good dude. And so we go to Brawl at the Beer Hall 2, Poor Decisions, which is such a good name for a wrestling show.
Yeah, especially when there's alcohol involved.
Oh yeah, and we started doing some interviews just because we have the interview mics to try and see how these go, see how we edit them. I think they turned out okay with the sound. We interviewed the Outrunners, which was just a more fun meme kind of interview, and Matt Cardona, which is a great time. Matt has been nothing but kind and gracious to me every time I met him, and he's given me a lot of good advice on podcasting and social media in general, just because I was upfront and asked him. And Brandon interviewed Steve Tortorello. He was the promoter, which was a great interview. And then at the show, we happened to meet and become friends with Mark Esses, who is the drummer for Downstate. And he follows in it. Shout out to Martin. He's such a nice and good dude. We did interview,
even though he's from Chicago.
That does not matter.
Sometimes.
And
anywho, Mark's great.
You bring up Big Trouble, because today I released our interview with the biggest man on the indies, 6'12", quarter of a metric ton, Big Trouble Ben Bishop. And Ben is also just a very nice guy, and he's so funny.
Oh, great.
He gave us a lot of time. He did not need to, because he had to go down to Chicago that night. And for these wrestlers, if you're listening, we appreciate the hell out of you, and we thank you for your time.
Yeah, Big Ben Bishop. He's a very big man, and he's so
big.
He's very over.
Very, yes.
The Tribal Keith character that he's been doing on his TikTok. I mean, I'm glad that you guys were able to interview him. I'm glad that you guys were able to interview Matt Cardona. And if you're going to want to pick somebody's brain about how to be successful at this, putting yourself out there, he's one of the most ideal candidates that you could talk to, because I never knew who Zack Ryder was until his YouTube show. I remember sitting
a true Long Island story.
I remember me and my buddy, the WWE Human Encyclopedia, Jared Giles, him and I were sitting in the back of a taxi going to Sun Life Stadium down in Miami when we attended WrestleMania 28. And we were going to meet Zack Ryder at the store, the superstore. And I had just became a fan of Zack Ryder literally like the week before because of his show on YouTube. So I bought the merch, I bought the glasses, I bought the broski headband. I got my picture taken with Zack, Matt Cardona, Zack Ryder back then, and really have just been a fan of him since WrestleMania 28. And I am hoping that WellsMania can get an interview with him, because he has respectfully turned me down at Squared Circle Expo. I don't know why, but I've gone up to him and I've asked, hey, can I get a quick interview with you? Nothing crazy, maybe just like 1 minute of you, talking shit to somebody that you want to talk shit to, or, just whatever you want to do. And he's like, I can't right now. I got the major podcast. I can't really be doing other podcasts. And in my mind, I'm thinking, why? Like, why don't you want to, like, was it me? Do I look like John Silver too much to you? Like, is there something, going on here? Because they kept calling me Johnny Hungy. Him and Brian and Nick Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler.
That's a flex.
They all kept thinking that I was Johnny Hungy. Because when I have the hat off, here, I'll show you. I mean,
no, I'm just kidding.
I kind of look like John Silver, so I get it. But one of my main goals next year at Squared Circle Expo 6 is to collab with the Ope-Eh-3-Way Podcast. That's on the top of my list.
Yeah,
and
we'll make it happen.
Love it.
Do some collabing with Matt Cardona, because like Matt, I am always ready. Yeah,
hell yeah, buddy.
When I went up to him, and Brandon can tell you the same thing. I was like, "Hey, Matt, how you doing? Good to see you." And I asked him, I was like, "Hey, you giving me this good advice. I was just curious. Would you want to do a quick interview? And you could tell me no, and I'd be completely okay with it." He's like, "Yeah, let's do it." I was like, "All right, all I got is 2 questions." And I mean, he gave us 5 minutes, and I think it turned out great.
No, I'm excited that you guys got to do that, and keep being you guys. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep just, shooting your shot out there. You never know until you ask. I always tell people, go to conventions, go to shows, take your equipment with you. Since you've got 3 of you, super duper easy to have somebody run the camera, stand on there, and kind of like create space. Whereas me, I got to do everything by myself, and it gets a little crazy.
Even if usually it's me and Brandon doing it, because Donnie is obviously not in the United States, but like if WrestleMania 41, he got engaged that weekend, so he was out doing stuff with his wonderful fiance Marta. Shout out to Marta as always. And
shout out to Marta.
And like every time we do it, Brandon will be holding the phone, or I'll be holding the phone. Whoever's doing the interview, doesn't matter. People walk through it; they don't care. I understand they're all in their own world, but it's just like it's one of those things that always gives me a little. It makes me a little mad, but I understand. Everybody's in their own world. WrestleCon is always a crazy time and has everybody going everywhere all at once, which I also want to shout out WrestleCon. Always a fun time. Definitely check it out if you go to Mania. If you want to see wrestlers from AEW, the Indies, or legends that maybe aren't contracted with WWE, there's your chance.
Yeah, no, it's a good plug because I personally have never been to WrestleCon, but I've got a lot of friends who have, and they speak nothing but good things about it. One of these days, I will make my debut at a WrestleCon. Who knows? Maybe, just maybe, WellsMania will run it back next year in Las Vegas. But fellas, I don't know if you knew this or not, but I'm about to become a dad for the first time.
Seeing that, hell yeah, good buddy. Congratulations.
Thank you. My wife is literally due any day. She is 9 months pregnant, and our baby boy, he's ready. I can just tell with all the movement that he's doing. And you talk about entrance themes. I have been playing a lot of WWE entrance themes on my wife's stomach because I'm going to test this theory out. When he is born and he comes out of the womb and makes his debut into the real world, we all know what babies do best, and that is cry.
Yeah.
So I'm going to test the theory that if they recognize what they heard when they were in the womb, if it will be a familiar sound to them, comforting them, therefore relaxing them not to cry. So I'm going to be playing John Cena's The Time Is Now, his basic thugonomics. I've played Fiend. I mean, my son technically was at WrestleMania 41 in the womb. My wife and I, she was pregnant. My wife and I found out 2 weeks before we were getting married that she's pregnant. And I'm like, that changes everything that we're about to do out in Las Vegas. But totally worth it. So technically, absolutely, my son was at WrestleMania 41. And I think it's very fitting that he will be here he won't remember any of this, but just me holding him while watching John Cena's retirement match. That is if I don't make it to Washington, D.C. I'm still not ruling that out.
If it was closer, I would consider it, but it's very much like I understand WWE is a business, but they went, why take it out of Boston, man? Come on. I get it. That's why they're doing the Saudi Mania, because they got paid a fuckload of money to go there.
And that is putting it lightly.
But very much, come on, give him if somebody's able to map out their retirement with these dates, which is not something that ever happens, and Boston can be one of these dates, and if not the last, let it happen.
Yeah, I mean, I believe Boston is the next episode of Raw that he's on, no? From what I could tell.
Correct. November 10th, he will be
Boston, then MSG.
I know it was one of the two.
Yeah, Boston, November 10th, November 17th, Madison Square Garden, and then Survivor Series, and then John Cena's final match. Now, before I let you guys go, I'm going to let's do a little rapid fire questions. I'm just going to throw some rapid fire questions at you both. Kind of pick your brains here.
I got some time if we want to keep going. I don't know about Brandon.
Whatever we want. Whatever, like we said, go with the flow.
We were going to go over Crown Jewel. I'm all for it. You want to do some rapid fire questions? Let's do it. That's just how we are at the Ope-Eh-3-Way. We want to have fun.
I like that a lot. And I kind of got lost in the Ope-Eh-3-Way sauce and kind of forgot all about Crown Jewel. But yeah, we'll get to Crown Jewel here in a little bit. But since we're talking about John Cena, who would you guys book for John Cena's final opponent?
Brandon, do you want to go first?
Do you know where I'm going with this?
Brandon,
you know,
Brandon.
I know exactly where Brandon's going with it, but
here it comes, baby.
With Pluggo was our hot takes, and my final hot take that I do. We do the hot take Emporium every quarter. My final hot take to close the Emporium: give the rub to Ope-Eh-3-Way.
Wow, the ruler.
I think you want to. I think Oba is going to be world champion quicker than most people think. I think we're going to see something we haven't really seen since Brock has not been champion for a long time. We're going to see a monster champion in Oba. And I think having him be the one to beat John Cena, which could go wrong. I understand that there's very few people that should be given that rub, but in my eyes, to put the stamp on Oba, give him the Cena rub.
Okay, that's a name that I have not heard mentioned most, so I dig the uniqueness with your pick there. What about you, Brandon?
Yeah, so I wish they would have had a little bit more time and less injury to contend with, but I would have said Austin Theory personally. As you know, Pierce, and as Donnie can probably attest, through some vitriol, right? Like, I'm a Theory mark. I think that he still has a lot of upside to him. He gets shit on pretty regularly in our group chat, from the other two fellas. But I try to be like,
I can make sure I can tell you that story is true. Me and Donnie definitely give Brandon enough shit for the year when it comes to
especially when the reports come out, the rumors and speculation that one Austin Theory might be joining the Vision in War Games in San Diego. I feel like he is worthy of a rub. I know they tried him at 39, and it kind of fell in line with what John Cena was saying to him, that if he wins, he loses everything because he has to come out and he has to perform in front of all these people. And the way I see it, it's like they had that same problem with Roman too. We all remember Suffer and Succotash and all the cringeworthy stuff that he was involved with right before he became the tribal chief, when he got the proper resources and backing under him. So I feel like the same, and Theory's kind of got the Vince stink on him too, especially with that whole promotional gig that they did with Red Notice, right? The egg, and the whole shit involving that, and Theory being by Vince's side through that weird little spat there before he got the boot. But I feel like it's like with Roman, right? Like all it takes is a little bit of shift in direction to make people kind of forgive and forget. And I still feel like Theory is very much like, at least in his presentation, not necessarily character-wise, but doesn't have to be. He's kind of a Cena 2.0. He's like younger, bigger guy, but he's got a great moveset. He's got a great look. Not the most polished on the mic, but if he's saddled with somebody like Paul Heyman, you look at Breaker and Heyman as a combination. Like Heyman kind of complements Breaker where he lacks, and I feel like the same could easily be true with Theory if in fact he's getting involved with the Vision. And it's kind of like with Evolution, where you had Orton and Batista, you have Theory and Breaker kind of being positioned as these two young up and coming, big Bronson Reed. They keep calling him a young man, but he's 38 years old, right? I believe 37, 38. He's a man. Is he a young man? Maybe to some, I don't know, but that's what they're rolling with, Sorry, I didn't mean to shit on, I know you're 38. Wells, but I wasn't trying to think anyway.
I'm actually 39, brother. I'm 39.
Oh, Lordy.
So, but no,
that was the same age Homer Simpson was in that one episode, or Marge told him he's 39 and he just crawled up on the bed. Sorry, that came to mind. I was like,
I feel good at 39 though. I'm in pretty good shape still. I'm still wrestling locally here in Indiana.
Hell yeah, man.
So it's all in the mindset, and it's all how you take care of yourself. So
yes.
Never let age determine how you feel, because there are people that are way older than me that are in phenomenal shape. And it's like so many people let age get the best of them. And I tend to, I'm like, man, I'm creeping up on 40, but then I collect myself and I'm like, dude, I am so young. Like 40's young. But I'm glad you brought up Austin Theory, because a lot of people say that WellsMania look like Austin Theory. I get that all the time when I'm doing my TikTok lives. People come in my lives and they're like, "Oh man, for a split second, I thought this was Austin Theory," and I'm like, I don't see it now. My younger self looks a lot like Austin Theory. Back when I didn't have the beard, I was a lot more jacked than I am now. I think that's what I miss the most about my 20s is you definitely start feeling it when you get older. I will admit that is factual. Your body does go through these changes that are like, oh my God, this is real. Like I thought this was an urban legend. No, it's definitely real, but you got to adapt. You got to adapt and adjust to how your body is growing and getting older. But I love Austin Theory. I met Austin Theory earlier this year. Him and I did a video together where I went up to him and I was like, a lot of people say I look like you. And Austin Theory looks at everybody. This guy says he looks like me. I kind of think he does. So him and I had a really good interaction. And then I told him, I said, I'll see you at the reunion. And he's like, yeah, tell mom I said hi. So I'm an Austin.
Guy.
I'm right there with you, Brandon. I'm an Austin Theory guy. I really hope that when he does come back, he gets the push that he deserves. He's a phenomenal talent. He's got the look. He's got the in-ring ability. Like you said, he's not the best on the mic, but when you're paired up with Paul Heyman, I don't think you have to be the best on the mic.
If that's the route they decide to go with, I'm all for it because it worked for Roman. You know, it's again, like you have all the tools, but there's just one little thing that's missing. And then once that piece is in place, then the rocket goes straight to the moon. Yeah. So that's kind of, and he's very young yet too. And that's something that I feel like WWE, I mean, they got guys like Breaker and Carmelo Hayes around, Trick Williams, but I feel like it's coming to a point now, especially with guys like, you know, AJ retiring, Cena retiring, Orton's up there, right? He's got a bit of gas left in his tank. But even guys like Drew McIntyre and Finn Balor and Sheamus, right? Like these guys are all, you know, they're going to be considering putting it away probably within the next 5 years. And then who are the young guys?
Kind of aging in reverse. He has not aged in 20 years.
This is true. I don't know. The man came out of it. The man comes out of a time capsule.
He's 47 or 48, and he just looks like he's still 2009. It's ECW, and he just came out for the first time.
He's an Irish vampire. That's what he is. He's an Irish vampire.
Honestly,
that explains the pale skin.
Well, might be.
That to your point, Wells. Yeah, age ain't nothing but a number. So
the next question that I got for you guys is: when did you first get into pro wrestling? Like who was the wrestler that made you get into pro wrestling?
My earliest memory of pro wrestling is 2005. In the lead up to WrestleMania 21, when I saw John Cena smack JBL in his big dumb face with the Spinner US title. My favorite wrestler as a kid was Cena. I mean, it was Cena and Batista. Those were my two guys. And I mean,
listen to that, Spinner. That's 2000. That's 2005 right there, Pierce.
There you go.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
It's very much like I feel blessed that I was able to go to WrestleMania 41 this year to see my childhood favorites last WrestleMania and his last WrestleMania main event. And some people are saying he's going to keep going. I think when it comes to anybody, we're gonna think Cena's telling the truth 100% of the time.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
yeah, my old man said that to me. He goes, I hope you're not wasting your money on all these John Cena farewell tour T-shirts because I bought every single one. Crazy.
Ooh,
I know.
That's a collection.
Yeah, the entire rainbow in your closet.
I had to. The only two that I'm missing are the two from Saudi because they didn't put those up on WWE Shop, and I don't know anybody that lives in Saudi Arabia. So if somehow, some way WellsMania is running wild in Saudi Arabia and you have two of the John Cena farewell tour T-shirts at a 2X, I would gladly buy them off of you. Just saying. But I love that, Pierce, because John Cena is my all-time favorite wrestler. Now, I grew up a Hulkamaniac. Hulkamania running wild, brother. But as I got older, man, I went from Hulk Hogan to The Rock to John Cena. That's like the evolution of my my fandom, my childhood, my teenage years, my adulthood. So I love when I get other people who love John Cena just as much as I do.
See, I went from John Cena and then I was kind of off wrestling for a bit. I think everybody gets that where you watch wrestling for a while. Sometimes you get off it. Sometimes you come back. When I came back, there was a little guy from Chicago named CM Punk cut a promo, and CM Punk's been my all-time favorite since 2011, and that hasn't changed.
He changed the game. Punk did. I will say that. What about you, Brandon? Who's the wrestler that made you fall in love with pro wrestling?
Oh man. Like I grew up working class, right? So I didn't get to see the Attitude Era, Monday Night Raw. I didn't get to see that. I got to see WCW Worldwide on Saturdays. So it was kind of like the WWF Metal or Jacked or Heat or whatever. It was kind of like a recap of the main shows like Nitro and Thunder and stuff like that. So I caught like matches from I think they had occasional matches. So like jobbers like the Gambler and stuff like that, famous old WCW fare, right? But I think I would say probably NWO Hogan definitely got me into the game. Actually seeing, I caught him in like promos for events and stuff, but like big, larger than life guys like Sid Vicious and The Undertaker were definitely the Ultimate Warrior. And then honestly, I feel like a lot of my fandom kind of arose from like seeing these guys on TV and then recognizing, because I'm a big N64 mark. So, I go out and get the video games. I get like WCW versus NWO World Tour, right? And then I see guys like, games. Yeah. And then, Sting was in there. And then I thought Sting just looked so fucking cool with the crow paint and stuff like that. And then I got into like trying to find out like, well, who is Sting, And I think Sting was definitely, oddly enough, I didn't get to watch as much WCW as WWF because like we got SmackDown on UPN and stuff like that. So I started to watch and see more guys like Mankind and Kane. Kane, I was a big, big fan of as a kid. Got to be even more so growing up, just when you see him on like The Weakest Link and he's a super smart dude, right? And you didn't know he could talk instead of like, I will set myself on fire. You didn't think he could inflect, but he does, and he's winning game shows. But yeah, from WCW, I'd say probably like Hogan and Sting were my favorites, and then later on when I branched off into WWF, it was probably like Mankind, Kane, that sort of thing. I like the larger than life, and of course, yeah, like I said, Sid. Would be remiss if I didn't mention Psycho Sid. So yeah, very underrated.
I got to see Psycho Sid, who was Sid Justice at WrestleMania 8.
Really?
Yeah, I was there. I was 5 years old.
Wow.
My dad and my nana, my dad's mom, my grandma, they took me to WrestleMania 8, which was here in Indianapolis, Indiana, and I got to watch Hulk Hogan versus Sid Justice, and of course, Macho Man versus Ric Flair, Bret Hart versus Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Wow.
And fellas, to put things into perspective, I was 5 years old the last time WrestleMania was in Indianapolis. I am now 39 years old, which means
they said it was coming back.
Yes, which means I will be well into my 40s by the time WrestleMania runs wild once again in Indianapolis. Now, if in a perfect world, and I've said this time and time again on WellsMania Podcast here, if I am booking WrestleMania to come back to Indy, I'm doing it in 2032. WrestleMania 48, the 40th anniversary of WrestleMania 8 in Indianapolis. Then, wait for it, my son will be old enough to go to WrestleMania. So like my dad did with me back in 1992, I can do with my son. And Lord willing, my father is still with us in 2032. Yeah. I would love for that full circle.
Yes, sir.
I went to WrestleMania with my dad and grandma, and now you are going to WrestleMania with your dad and grandpa. Like that to me,
that would be awesome.
God works in mysterious ways, and I truly believe there's a reason why Indianapolis hasn't returned to, or I'm sorry, WrestleMania hasn't returned to Indianapolis. It's because my son isn't here yet. I'm running wild with it, brother.
Running wild with the conspiracy. No, that's.
We'll take a little sidebar right here. The way that they made it sound is that they made the deal for in the next 5 years. They get the three of the four big events. They get Mania, they get the Rumble, which has happened, and what a Rumble that we went to. It was what that crowd. And I know Brandon does not like Jey Uso, but
no.
That crowd, when he won, was maybe the most electric crowd I've ever been around.
Very rowdy.
It was insane. And then they also get SummerSlam. So I figured maybe 2027 they get SummerSlam, which is still possible at this point. But I thought maybe 2027 we'd be seeing the Mania or the SummerSlam. And then obviously we're doing Saudi Arabia for Mania. And I'm sure that stadium and that stage is going to be one of the most elaborate that we've seen in a long time. So,
yeah.
But I mean, whenever the events come to Indy, chances are I'll be there because it's a quick drive, great town. Everything's still pretty affordable in that bigger town because it's, Midwest, it's Indiana. It's Indianapolis is one of those jewels in the Midwest. Gotta be 100% honest. Check it out if you haven't been. Like I said, totally worth it.
And this isn't me paying Pierce to say this, ladies and gentlemen. He is saying this because he believes in what I have been saying for a very long time. Because, I used to work in radio. I worked at a very successful radio station in downtown Indianapolis, 93 WIBC. I used to be a producer and an award-winning producer, by the way. Whenever I was on the
just for show.
Yeah, whenever I was on the air, I would always talk about wrestling. So whatever show that I was a producer of, they would always the host of the show would always bring me on to talk about wrestling, and it became my thing. And that's kind of how WellsMania Podcast really started taking off, was my opportunities that I got to showcase not only my talent but my knowledge of pro wrestling. A lot of people consider me the voice of pro wrestling in the state of Indiana. Now, of course, I got trumped by Pat McAfee because he's more on a national level than I am. But all the real ones, all the OGs, they all know that I've been out here on the grind for the past 2 decades, promoting and preaching and advocating, talking to John Laurinaitis, talking to Vince McMahon, talking to Kevin Dunn. I have met all 3 of those guys in person, and I have preached to all of them, especially my interaction with Vince McMahon, which was so out of this world.
I bet, yeah.
I know Vince is a very controversial guy, but the interaction that I had when I met Vince McMahon, he was so kind. He was so personable. He was so into our conversation. He complimented me. He goes, "You look like you could be a wrestler." And I was like, well, coming from you, that's probably one of the greatest compliments that one could ever receive. And then he's like, "Well, how long have you lived in Indy?" And I said, and by the way, Vince McMahon is Vince McMahon. Like when he's talking to you,
I'd believe it.
I have no room to argue on that.
What you see on TV is how he is in real life. Not maybe as loud, but definitely has that cadence to him. So when I was shooting the shit with Vince, I just said, "Vince, I've lived here my whole life. I was at WrestleMania 8." He goes, "Yeah, that was a good one. 92, great year." and then I said, "Vince, we would love to have WrestleMania back. We've got Lucas Oil Stadium, which is a mega upgrade from the Hoosier Dome. We've got Gamebridge Fieldhouse, which is a huge upgrade from Market Square Arena. We've got one of the best convention centers in the United States that is attached to hotels, and literally everything is in walking distance. We've got so many bars. We've got so many great hotels. Everything is right here. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better host city than Indianapolis." And he looks at me and he goes, "I need to hire you. You did a great job just selling me. We'll bring it back. It'll come back." And I'm like, I hope so, because I'm not getting any younger, Vince. And he looked at me and goes, "You still got it." And then we took our picture, and then he went on his way. And I'm just like, what a moment. What a moment that was.
What just happened?
Not many people have that moment. So
no.
Cherish the hell out of that.
I do. I cherish it then, now, forever. And I know Vince, a lot has happened since that interaction with him.
Can I speak to, in light of all that's happened with him, man, and we all know that's all on public record and stuff. It's just, I feel is a very interesting phenomenon now, like almost kind of like a rehumanification, if that's even a word, the rehumanizing of Vince McMahon in some ways, especially in light of the prices, right? Like we're talking about Cena's last match, and we've all seen just what they're asking for even like second, third, thousands and thousands, tens of thousands. We all know how expensive Mania 42 is going to be. We know the money that WWE's taken to go to places like Saudi Arabia, right? Yeah, man. It's just, and then when you look at Ari Emanuel's philosophy on ticket prices and stuff like that. And right. And, Don has said this too, and it's perfectly understandable. Categorically, it is a business. And in a business, you're out to make as much profit as you can. And when you have WWE saddled with UFC under the TKO banner, like WWE's pricing is not quite where they're not making the same money that UFC is. And they want to get it to be pretty even keel from what I've read. Which, take that for what you will. But when you're talking about Vince McMahon in this context, and they're saying things like, well, at least Vince cared about families. Vince cared about kind of like what you're talking about with your dream there, Wells, of like your son seeing WrestleMania in Indy with you and your father the same way that you had with, your father and your grandmother. That experience might not be quite as accessible to a lot of families with the way that ticket prices are on the up and up and the way things are becoming more and more corporatized and publicly traded, shall we say. People have been talking about Vince again, bringing him up in conversation, but in a strangely positive light, considering just last year, the Vince McMahon documentary came out on Netflix, and it kind of, it brought out a lot of stuff to the public eye that like people who are following the business, we already knew about that stuff and more, let's be real. But it's just an interesting turnaround to see like how perception is kind of starting to shift in a little bit of an opposite direction on Vince.
All it is.
Yeah.
Shades of gray.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. That is why I am saving now. I am saving now for WrestleMania ? Whenever it does come back to Indianapolis. And that's my biggest advice to everybody out here. Because we see it, fellas. We see everybody complaining about this and complaining about that. If John Cena wins, we go online and complain. We saw that shirt come out on WWEshop.com. But my thing is, and I tell this to people all the time, you are in control of your own life. However you want to save your money or spend your money always falls back on you. And I can't express this enough. If you don't like the way that something is, you either A, change something about it, therefore you start saving your money better. If you really want to go to shows, but you're saying I can't afford it, there are ways that you can afford it. You just got to look at other things that are going on in your life. Now, unfortunately, some families might have to make sacrifices and they won't be able to go to shows. But if you do want to go to shows, you got to really reassess you. And a lot of people think I'm rich. I am not rich, for the record. I'm just very smart with how I spend my money. And that's what I always tell everybody. I'm like, I didn't come from a wealthy family. And I'm not anywhere near where I want to be now, but I am financially stable for my wife and my soon-to-be son because of the way that I operate. Like, I would love to go back out to Las Vegas, but Didn't have a kid earlier this year, so next year things are going to be a little bit different. How much difference a year makes.
And that's why I support VPNs for this new deal.
There you go. There you go.
That's how I watch. That's how I watch Crown Jewel, and like I get it. The ESPN again comes down to it. Their business. They want to make money. You know, here comes the money. They're damn near Shane McMahon right now. Also, sidebar, amazing theme song for Shane. Just want to shout that out.
Yeah. Shane got added back onto the active roster page. I'm sure you guys have seen it.
Yeah, I think.
So the last time we saw Shane O'Mac, unfortunately he got injured at WrestleMania. So
quad.
Hopefully, whatever he
shades of the old man
does coming back. Hopefully he stays healthy. And
no more jumping off Hell in a Cell. No, he did that twice.
Wow. There's a good chance he does that anyway.
Oh God.
And you talk about another person who deserves to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. Shane McMahon. Shane O'Mac deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He's probably the most underrated McMahon out of the four. I'm throwing Triple H in the mix as well. Although Linda.
Oh, I thought Linda.
Linda has one of the greatest pops of all time.
Linda also Hall of Fame worthy. Just go ahead and induct the whole McMahon family.
This is the year. This is the year.
Because of X7's pop. Because
she stood up out the chair.
Insane pop for somebody
for doing this.
Yeah. And I'm just glad you're wearing pants, Brandon.
Oh yeah. That once in a while,
we'll have you on sometime in the future. We know your recording schedule kind of mashes with ours, but if you have some time later after you record on Wednesdays, we'll bring you on for sure. We had to beg him to get a phone stand because it kept falling with his makeshift stand, and we'd just be like, "Oh, here we go."
Not to me without pants.
I got a lot of great products in my TikTok showcase, so go check out my TikTok shop showcase. Got a lot of cool stuff that you can use to help with your appearance and your cameras and your microphones. I got a ring light on me right now, so if you're wondering, man, WellsMania, we know you're a bright guy, but we didn't know you were this bright.
Such a healthy glow.
Yeah, well, that's 39 right there.
There you go.
That's it. 39 looking fine, baby.
And rubbing banana peels. Rubbing banana peels on your skin.
And hopefully in the future, if we can get our TikTok numbers up, we'd like to come on live with you sometime. That'd be fun.
For sure.
Which right now, we are at the 1 hour and 32-minute mark. Do yourselves a favor. Go follow Ope-Eh-3-Way on TikTok. Let's get these guys well into the thousands of followers that they deserve. So do me a favor, everybody watching, with everybody saying, pull out your cellular device, go to your TikTok, follow Ope-Eh-3-Way, and let's get these guys to where they need to be. And we are well into the pod, but this is what happens. I love talking and shooting the shit with you guys.
Fun.
Let's bring it up. Let's bring it up. Crown Jewel. Jewel. We are literally coming off the aftermath of Saturday morning in Perth, Australia. I had a nice plate of pancakes that my wife made me. Shout out to my wife. What did you guys eat for breakfast with WWE?
So I don't know if they're in Indiana. There's a good quick gas station out here known as Quick Trip, KWIK. Quick Trip.
Now Q.
I've heard of Quick Trip with a K.
Good.
I just stopped there and I grabbed some donuts. Something simple, easy that I could eat and watch and don't have to make a mess, and then also be like cooking and then because you kind of see my apartment here. My kitchen's right here, TV's right here. I don't want to cook and it'd be a whole rigmarole to watch a show. So, Brandon, what'd you eat?
I indulge myself a little bit of KT as well. I'm in this weird period in my life right now where I have no food in my fridge. We'll have to fix that. So I went out and got something quick. I just got me a little Western omelet sandwich. Couple hash brown sticks. Yeah. The fixins, the huge. But it did me well.
This is where I would ask Donnie. What did Donnie eat for breakfast? Did he have a nice plate of pancakes with authentic Canadian maple syrup?
He may have had some Tim Hortons. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll have to ask.
Little double.
We'll bring it up on Wednesday and be like, Wells needs to know.
I need to know. I need to know all these questions that I have about Canada. Very intrigued. But WWE Crown Jewel got a final grade from ESPN. It's a improved grade from WrestlePalooza. We got a grade of a B at Crown Jewel.
Hey.
I'm gonna go on a little of a rant. I'm gonna go a little Stone Pain here.
Okay.
When WrestlePalooza got the C and people were freaking out and making fun of it, it's one person's opinion. Who gives a fuck? If you enjoyed it, great. If you didn't enjoy it, great. At the end of the day, is it ironic that ESPN put out a grade? Yeah, because it was the first ESPN show. But at the end of the day, it's one person's opinion. It doesn't matter. It's ironic.
It doesn't matter.
I mean, what else can you do? It's a grade. It's a person's opinion. That's it. You don't have to look into it. It's a little ironic, but that's about it.
And the C, I said the C stood for Cena with that grade. I don't know what the B. I guess the B stands for Bronson Reed. But this is
Bronson. Yeah.
This is the overall summary from. Oh man, I'm spacing on the writer's name for ESPN. It starts with an A. I can't remember his name. But he's the one giving these grades. He said, this is his take, his final summary on Crown Jewel. A show that stumbled out of the gate with a relatively tame street fight and a far too brief fight between women's champions was rescued by an absolutely stellar match between Cena and Styles that put an excellent book into their rivalry. Rollins finally getting his comeuppance, I love the word comeuppance, against Rhodes by any means necessary. And the women's tag match were both strong and anchored a memorable bounce back for WWE after a middling WrestlePalooza. So that was the overall summary of WWE Crown Jewel. Now, what would you guys grade WWE Crown Jewel? Do you agree that it was a B show? Or are you going A? Are you going C? Where are you guys at?
B plus?
I'm at B plus. Like, it was a very good show. And there were a few stumbles, but it wasn't. I don't think I'm going to say this, that Roman Bronson Reed match could it have been a little more street fighty? Yeah, but it was still good. And the story leading into it was one of the better stories going into it, with essentially Jay becoming the tribal chief. And now I've been saying for over a year, since Roman came back at SummerSlam last year, he is the same person. He might be getting cheered. He might have new music. He's not a face. He's the exact same person. He needs something to happen to humble him. It's not.
And Jay said that word for word. Jay said that word for word too. After Roman peaced out and's like, see you at Christmas. Jay just walks out the ring from Jimmy. He's like, he's the same dude. Ain't nothing changed. And I think we've been talking about that for a while in our podcast too, about how Roman is effectively the same person. And he's yet to owe Jay the tribal apology. Not going to happen.
Trademarked by me. Tribal apology.
I like that. Put that on a t-shirt and sell it on your merch.
Yeah. So it's been a long time coming, but we're finally at the point now where we're in kayfabe collectively saying Roman is the same dude then, now, forever. Who's to say? But it's I don't know why these street fights never take place in the streets. Like an Australian street fight, I feel like there's a lot of room in Perth for these guys
This isn't Here Comes the Pain, and you can go out into New York and jump off helicopters and shit.
But it's not in New York. It's in Perth. And I'm saying, again, I feel like it's a great way, and they want to, put the tourist ads out there too, right? Like, there's so many great locales.
Something.
Oh, the cricket bat. Oh, whoa. Oh, yeah, because that's the first thing I think about when I think of Australia is cricket.
One of their main sports.
Didn't throw no drop bears, no koalas, no kangaroo kicks.
Real, man.
What I do is I am one of the most positive wrestling fans on planet Earth.
I've noticed that you have positivity, and it's awesome.
It's what I do. But lately, I've been giving the people, because let's face it, sometimes my positivity is a little too much for people. I get that. It's not for everybody. So I've been trying to find things with the product that I can critique and at least show that I am okay. I can kind of see where you guys are coming from. My only complaint about WWE Crown Jewel is we did not get a kangaroo in the Australian street fight. That's my only complaint from the entire show. Because I'm right there with you guys.
Yeah.
How the hell do you not involve a kangaroo? Hell, we didn't even get a boomerang. Not even a boomerang.
Bogus. Absolutely bogus.
The cricket bat and a rugby football. I mean, that was it. And I'm like,
that was it.
Cool. Yeah, we didn't see a stop sign, though. It's always nice to see a stop sign.
True.
Oh,
but my big thing is, if you're going to do these street fights in whatever city you're in, you've got the ability to really put over that city by using things that are known in that city.
We didn't get any Vegemite. We didn't get we got Fairy Bread with Rhea and EO for Rhea's birthday. But like there was a lot more they could have done. I think street fight wise was a little lackluster, sure, but story wise, right there,
moving things along.
And
things along
with the writer for the women's Crown Jewel championship match.
Yeah,
it felt like they were just catching their stride, and then it ended. They could have gave it 10 more minutes, especially because this was Tiffany Stratton's first loss this year.
Mm-hmm.
And it happened in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
If she's been undefeated, I mean, granted, she has faced a lot of the same opponents, and Stephanie McCare is not one of them. But if she's been undefeated this entire year, and she's beaten people like Charlotte Flair, Nia Jax, Jade Cargill, Trish Stratus, Bayley, and you have somebody in Stephanie McCare who does not need to change her look or entrance, Brandon. Just want to point that out.
Give it a little more, you know?
Simplicity at its finest. They should have given this 20 minutes, and they showed WrestlePalooza. You give Stephanie McCare 20 minutes, you get a banger.
Yeah.
And I don't think this is their last match together either. I think when you get matches like this where they show they've got really good chemistry, granted, we're still waiting on Cody Gunther again, but I feel like you plant seeds for that. And we've critiqued, right, like you said, Pierce, Tiffany Stratton facing the same opponents over and over and over. But like, I think now we start to see like what she can do against an opponent like a Stephanie McCare, who they're going to keep on the top of the card for a very long time. Same as Tiffany, I presume. So when you have matches like this, I think it goes to like add that layer of confidence to a Tiffany Stratton, and it makes people want more. Right. I hope this isn't the last time we see these two for like a while. You know what I mean? I hope we at least get one or two more matches between the two of them within the next 12 months.
Now,
because they have some great chemistry.
We are heading into Survivor Series season, so we very well could get another Tiffany Stratton, Stephanie McCare match, maybe with some teams. I'm an old school Survivor Series guy. The more make Survivor Series again has been one of my campaigns.
I tweeted you the other day.
Your idea is great, Pierce. Your idea is great.
One day, traditional the other.
When Survivor Series does go, because it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when Survivor Series goes to 2 nights. Night 1, give us traditional Survivor Series matches, and then night 2, you can have your little war games. I don't mind war games, but when I think of Survivor Series, I think of the traditional elimination tag team matches. I think of the hodgepodge of WWF and WWE superstars being just thrown together. That's the whole point of Survivor Series.
I'll give you the match I think of. 2005 Raw versus SmackDown Survivor Series. It was the first time they did it in a long time, and that match was awesome to just watch. And then ends with Randy Orton on the SmackDown locker room being carried. and the return of the Undertaker. That is just ingrained in my mind.
See, those are the moments that Survivor Series was made for. Now, we just got a little interaction between MFT and the Wyatt Six. That's a Survivor Series match right there.
Absolutely.
And we just got at NXT Showdown 2 Survivor Series style matches that I believe were a lot of fun to watch. Now, I know the women's match got a little botchy there.
I was about to say.
Clunky, but for the most part, it was very fun.
But the men's match was a good time. And I mean, seeing TNA versus NXT, I mean, that right there screams Survivor Series. So I'm really hoping that eventually we will get back to where Survivor Series once was. It won't be this year. So hopefully next year, 2026, we can make Survivor Series again. Now, fellas, my favorite match on the WWE Crown Jewel card, no surprise, John Cena versus AJ Styles. And once again, they did what they did back at the Royal Rumble. They did not go outside the ring.
Nope.
They kept everything inside the squared circle. And my goodness, did they entertain with all the tributes that they gave us.
This was a love letter to wrestling in the 21st century.
Yeah. I've got a list.
He's got a list?
I've got a list of all.
Did we make the list?
Ope-Eh-3-Way didn't make this list. But this is the list of all the tributes that we got in this match. A friend of the WellsMania podcast, you love him, you hate him, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful. He tweeted this out. He said that we got tributes from a lot of wrestlers that helped the careers of John Cena and AJ Styles. Samoa Joe, Chris Jericho, Rusev, Christopher Daniels, The Miz, Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, The Undertaker, Frankie Kazarian, Shawn Michaels, Sting, and we also got a 619 tease from Cena.
I wanted that so bad.
Cena.
Throws the Juan Cena mask on.
A punt tease also from John Cena. So there were, and I'm a sucker for nostalgia. And I keep telling people that bitch and complain about the John Cena farewell tour. This is a nostalgia year for John Cena. We don't need builds. We don't need storylines. We don't need any of that. It's John fucking Cena. It writes itself.
Right.
Yes.
John Cena versus I don't give a fuck. And I'm going to watch. Too many people are bitching and complaining. They didn't like the heel turn. They didn't like The Rock disappearing. I get all that. I understand your frustration.
All we needed for that was just this is why I joined The Rock, and people would have been a little more okay with it.
Right.
Embracing John Cena every time he's on your television is what the John Cena farewell tour is all about, because now we are down to 4 dates. 4.
Doesn't even have the thumb anymore. He can't do everything.
He's running out of digits. So I embraced everything in this match. I loved all the tributes. I started getting a little emotional for the Bray Wyatt. I thought that was a very nice touch. And then shout out to the Perth, Australia crowd for letting the Fireflies run wild.
It was all yellow.
I got goosebumps, fellas, watching that.
It very much was a love letter to 21st century professional wrestling, and you had somebody who was the face of TNA from 2005 to 2014. You had somebody who was the face of WWE from 2005 to 2016 in John Cena.
Yeah.
It's like it's two guys that are two sides of the same coin.
Yeah. And it was a dream match when we first saw it. And to me, it still felt like a dream match seeing it one final time at Crown Jewel. Because as we all know, AJ is also on his way out.
2026.
That's hard pill to swallow.
He's already announced that 2026 will be his farewell tour, so to speak. So whenever I tell people who bitch and complain about the product, embrace the superstars while we have them, because they are not always going to be here. And I would hate for you to look back and be like, man, I should have, watched it differently, but I was too wrapped up in my own world. And it's not about you. It's not about you. It's about the wrestlers that are putting their bodies on the line day in and day out, going out there and giving you everything that they've got. And I think a lot of people lose sight of that when they're watching the product. And I don't understand the people who watch the product just to shit on it online. I don't.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
I will never understand, because here's the thing. If there's a restaurant that I know is going to give me, diarrhea and just stomach pains, and I know that it is, why the hell would I continue to spend my money and go eat there when I know I'm just going to suffer? Like it, when you put it into terms like that, it's also like a song. If there's a song that you hear and you just absolutely can't stand it, why the hell would you keep listening to it? Like, if there's a movie that you went to watch and it absolutely sucked, why the hell would you go to the store and buy it?
Some people are masochists.
And then watch it.
That's what I can give you.
I do not understand these people.
You said it, Wells. Like you're kind of like a diamond in the rough here when it comes to like putting positivity out there in the atmosphere. Because frankly, in the IWC and the online wrestling landscape, a lot of people just get off on bitching and complaining and whining. They commiserate, and it's not just in wrestling. It's not exclusive, but it's certainly prominent in the IWC, right? I don't fucking get it. Like, just armchair bookers, fucking, belly aching and whining about, things that they don't like or don't want to see or have some umbrage with. Like it's going to change anything, And that's been so many cases, like, where it's like, okay, bitch, complain, fine. The world keeps spinning. They're going to keep booking the shows, right? Like, they're not going to always pivot. And I think people get spoiled with that because you've had the instance at Mania 40, like we were talking about earlier, where like the pivot happens, right? And whether or not that was internally planned or responsive to, again, the online bitching and complaining, I think it gives people the idea that like the more they do it, the more power they have. So I think a lot of people got the wrong idea, and it just really emboldens that kind of behavior. But yeah, no, I think like you said, man, I think especially in cases of John Cena and now AJ Styles, like we need to really be appreciative. And I used to fucking hate John Cena. I'm sorry. I'm not like the two of you fellas.
You're okay. We need people like you, Brandon. We need people like you.
Dude, at the time, the 2010s were a tough time for me to watch a lot of wrestling, WWE pertained, right? Like TNA got hard too. But I mean, at least we had AJ, right? So AJ being another piece of this puzzle. And I'll tell you, when he posted that cover to PWI that had him and Cena on it, I remember when I was like 15 years old, I remember walking by in the Walmart and seeing that. And I think I actually bought a copy. I don't know what happened to it. But it's, again, one of those things, you see it. And, AJ said it. It's like, it's one of those matches at the time, you would have never, ever, ever guessed you would have seen it happen. It was like Sting and Taker, right? Never would have happened. Never could have happened because they're too big in their own brands. Or Austin and Hogan.
Started on that. The
Sting Taker. Oh, sorry. Yeah, man. They had ample opportunity and ample money to throw at both guys.
Now we're bringing up.
We had it at WrestleMania.
I mean,
and instead we got Triple H versus Sting. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it.
A lot of fun.
God, it was right there. Taker and Sting. It was
a lot of fun, but the wrong.
They would have had to. Yeah, they would have had to put that match on a lot later though, because seeing Sting come out in broad ass daylight was really weird. Same with Taker. Yeah, sunlight during a Sting and Taker match seems so wrong. You need darkness. So, but they still even in subsequent or even previous Manias, because they're talking about it for WrestleMania 27, were they not? About potentially bringing Sting on for Taker?
That was the plan.
Was that what they were? That was the plan.
Those were the rumors, and I had seen interviews that Sting has given, and he said that he had been invited to go to these WrestleManias, but for whatever reason, it just didn't work out the way that it was pitched. And I'm like, man, because this is a good topic. I know we're talking about Crown Jewel, but real quick, what's a dream match that you guys wish we would have gotten that we could have gotten, but we didn't get. Now, mine, yes, Sting versus Taker, but also I would have loved to have seen John Cena versus Hulk Hogan. Those are two dream matches that we could have gotten, but we never did. So I'm going to ask you guys, and then we'll wrap it up. What's a dream match that we should have gotten that we didn't get, unfortunately?
Kurt Angle versus Bret Hart.
Oh, man.
Would have been the greatest technical match of all time.
Yeah. That one would have been an all-timer for sure. What about you, Brandon?
Oh, yeah. I was going to bring up Kurt Angle, too. I mean, I'm a big Graps guy, but I know he was in NWA at the time. He was outside the WWF, but like I would have loved to see Kurt Angle versus Ken Shamrock.
Wow.
That would have been, you talk about, the Masters of the Ankle Lock, like an intense Kurt Angle with an intense Ken Shamrock.
More intense. Let's be honest here. More respect to Kurt Angle, but
the world's most dangerous man, Ken Shamrock versus Kurt Angle. I'm sweating with intensity just thinking about watching a match like that. I mean, you gotta bring in Mike Tyson to be the special guest referee for a match like that. My God,
Tito Ortiz or something.
I'll do you one better. Tyson would be a hell of a ref, but I think there's one ref that makes more sense for that match, and that's the Beast Dan Severn.
I wear sweaty gray t-shirts.
I did a training wrestling seminar with Dan Severn, and he taught me some submission holds, and I was just picking his brain. And man, the Beast Dan Severn, he's one of those guys. I don't feel like he gets a lot of love in the world of pro wrestling that he should get. But Dan the Beast Severn is a very, very intelligent man. And if you ever have the opportunity to meet him, do it. Go up to him and just get under the learning tree and pick his brain. Because that dude, he helped me out. Because Megamondo is not a submission wrestler by any means necessary. However, he taught me some of the do's and the don'ts when it comes to being or not being a submission wrestler and how to counter the wrestlers who are submission wrestlers, because I have wrestled guys that were more technical than me. Let's face it. Megamondo is a larger than life character, sports entertainer, personality. I'm ground and pound. Like I'm going to hit you with some power moves, maybe go to the top rope here and there, but you're not going to see me doing the flippy shit. You're not going to see me putting you in crazy ass submission holds. But he taught me, he goes, a guy like you in the character, because I explained my character to him. He's like, a guy like you in the character that you have, you can do submission holds that are catered to you. And once you figure out what those are, you're going to do them in your arsenal. Throw them out there every so often. Don't tell people you're going to do it. Obviously tell your opponent, but don't let anyone else in on it, because watching a guy like you do a submission hold, people are going to pop when they see it. So, man, Dan Severn, shout out to the Beast. He helped me a lot years back when I was really finding my stride in the local pro wrestling world. So, sorry, went off on a little. This is what we do. We go off the rails a little bit.
We're having a lot of fun.
Bring it back on
2 hours, and we're just having a great time.
Bring it back on the tracks here. But to sum it all up, what was your guys' favorite match, favorite moment from WWE Crown Jewel?
I mean, favorite match, I gotta go AJ John. I think that might be my match of the year right now. I mean, that might just be recency bias, but I mean, it was just a love letter to pro wrestling. I mean, moment, I'll say Seth finally getting the monkey off his back of Cody Rhodes, but also John Cena doing a tombstone pile driver is just insane to me.
Yeah. Didn't have that on the bingo card for 2025. What about you, Brandon?
Yeah, I gotta encapsulate all my love. I mean, Cody Seth was great, right? And Seth needed that win. There was no other way around it. But John Cena, AJ Styles, man, what a capstone on that rivalry. What a capstone really for that era of pro wrestling. We talk about, Taker and Triple H kind of being the end of an era in that respect. John Cena, AJ Styles feels very much the same in spirit. Like it's two very emblematic characters and representatives of their brand, the mainstream and the alternative coming together, both pretty even keel. Like, I mean, AJ's gotten jacked. He's keeping up with John, and I feel like in the size department, damn near. But again, seeing John and AJ both pay tribute to the guys who really helped build them, and seeing John do the little shimmy shake setting up for his. I didn't mean to do the wiggle in front of the camera. I am so sorry.
All good, baby. Ratings.
This is why we don't. This is why we're not on camera.
That's on the internet forever, Brandon.
But seeing John in the corner doing that little shimmy shake, the crazy stuff with Randy's moves, man. Like I wish they would have had a camera backstage to catch Randy's face. Or Randy might have been backstage. He might have been elsewhere. But like, I wanted to see Randy's face when he saw that, because I'm sure he would have just been laughing his ass off.
Moves. Can we shout out the coast to coast headbutt?
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah. When Rollins pulled that out, I was like, wow. Like, it gave me shades of Shane McMahon right there.
Yeah, that's shades of Shane McMahon, King of the Ring, 2000, where he just took a header on the ground because some glass was not where it was supposed to be.
But no, shout out to Seth Rollins, like you said, finally getting the win. And fellas, not to toot my own horn here, but your boy WellsMania went 5-0 with my Crown Jewel predictions. I did not miss one single match. I got every single match right on the card.
I think I went 4-5 because I wanted the Kabuki Warriors to win.
Okay. See, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, you're going to be wrong, man. Roman Reigns isn't losing." And I said, "Do you not understand?"
No, I went 3-5 because I picked Roman because it's like, come on, it's going to happen.
I go, walk with me here. We're building up to War Games. If we're going to make Roman Reigns and whoever his team is versus the Vision, we got to really book the Vision strong, because Roman needs to realize it is strength in numbers, bro. I know you're saying that you want to do it all by yourself, but when have you ever done anything by yourself? You've always
pretty much had the exact same thing on our preview episode. So, I mean, you must have that Indianapolis, Canada connection.
Yeah, not too far away from Canada. I'll get up there one day. I heard there's a Toys R Us still up there in Canada.
Hey.
And I'm a Toys R Us kid for life. Now, there are the rumblings that there are Toys R Us stores coming back here to the United States. So
right.
I'm hoping, I think one just opened in Chicago, which isn't too far away from me. But man,
right.
A lot of people give me shit because I treat Toys R Us like a death in my family. But man, when Toys R Us closed up shop, that was my childhood, man. That's where I went to get my WWF Hasbro action figures. That's where I got my WWF Jax action figures. That's where I got, when I became an actual collector, I'd go to Toys R Us and buy action figures. I'd leave them in the package, didn't take them out and play with them anymore. But man, once a Toys R Us kid, always a
Toys R Us kid.
That is what they say.
Yeah, but fellas, no, we are. This is one of the longest episodes that I've done in a while, and I really appreciate you both giving me your time, running wild with me over the 2-hour mark. Now I know there are Wells Maniacs out there. Kevin Deininger, I'm looking at you, brother. They really love the long episodes of WellsMania Podcast. I got some people who like short ones, but then I've got some that like the long ones. That's what she said. Thank you.
Hey.
But no, fellas, thank you guys so much for coming on this episode. Before I send you away, is there anything else that you want to talk about before we go home?
I think I'm okay. I just want to say thank you. The pleasure is all ours.
Go Paco.
Shout out the Packers. Go Paco. I mean, like I said, this is our
the Bengals
venturing onto somebody else's podcast, and we're honored that we've been trying to do this for a couple months. So we're honored we're our first time going and collabing elsewhere is with you. So we appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you very much for your time, Wells. Like, it's a Sunday, it's NFL season. There's a lot of things you could be prepping for, a lot of things you could be doing. And right. We've been in talks for a bit. We've been trying to meet up. We've been trying to link and do all the stuff. We finally get the opportunity, and shit, look at us, 2 hours in, so it's been a blast. Absolutely. It's been a friggin' blast talking with you, boss. Hopefully not a one and done, right? Hopefully we can link up somewhere down the road and do what we do best. But again, thank you so much for having us on live and in living color.
Yeah, like you said, though, this has been a long time coming, and I always try to find the positive and the good in everything. There's a reason why I am now on YouTube doing video podcasts, so I can link up with you guys and other wrestling content creators. And I'm hoping to get pro wrestlers on. I've been in talks with Karrion Kross coming on. I've been in talks with Kevin Thorne coming on. Kevin Thorne is a big,
wow.
That's a throwback.
He loves him some WellsMania. So
all right.
I've been in talks with getting those guys on. And now that I have this video platform, no matter where you are in the world, you can run wild with WellsMania, the most underrated wrestling podcast in the world. So no, Pierce, Brandon, this has been a long time coming, over the 2 hour mark, making up for lost time. I'm really looking forward to finally meeting you guys in person. And if that is next year at Squared Circle Expo 6, I can't wait. Definitely going to have you guys back on the pod sooner than that. And hopefully we can get the international man of mystery, Donnie Austin Powers, to run wild to make this a complete Ope-Eh-3-Way collab with WellsMania. But you two have been great. This has been a lot of fun. And I could literally keep going on and on and on, but my stomach's making all these gurgling sounds, and it's way past my lunchtime. So, but go ahead and plug the Ope-Eh-3-Way podcast. Where can people follow you on social media, and where can people listen to your podcast?
So you can see the new episodes every Thursday on YouTube and Spotify at Ope-Eh-3-Way. On pretty much all social medias, there might be a dash or an underscore somewhere in there, but find us on X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. There's a couple other ones that we have. We have Dropkicked. Brandon set up a Twitch account. Maybe we'll start streaming sometime soon, but for right now, those are the main ones. Follow us, subscribe, like all that fun stuff. You'll see some fun guests coming up. You'll see some fun episodes coming up. We got a lot of cool stuff in the works right now.
If you're looking for where to find us and how to find us and all the specific little nuances of the tippity-typity, go check out our preview videos that I throw out for our episodes. At the end of the video there, you scroll a little bit if you don't want to hear me yap. Everything's laid out there for you. The links to find us on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, etc. So thank you very much again, Wells, for having us on and letting us plug.
Thank you guys. And yeah, we're going to get your followers up on TikTok, because I would love to do a live stream with you guys, because it's always fun going on TikTok live. A lot of wrestling fans run wild on TikTok. So everybody, what the hell are you waiting for? Go follow Ope-Eh-3-Way. I did a TikTok promoting this on my WellsMania. I'm going to do one after the episode saying that this episode is now up. So guys, anything that I can ever do to help you guys out, I'm always right here. Never hesitate to reach out to me. If you ever want me to come run wild on Ope-Eh-3-Way, I'm always down to do that. So,
oh yeah, we'll get something in the works, man.
Definitely,
we'll figure it out.
Ope-Eh-3-Way, follow them everywhere. Thank you guys so much. This has been an action-packed episode of WellsMania Podcast. Until next episode, take care, stay positive, run wild, and dominate the day.